Hello, good afternoon. My name is Gilson Lee, and today I will be talking about the company Amazon and what ethical issues it has had in the past. Um, my main point about this company in Amazon and what ethical issues they had is how they purchased undocumented products from China before and during the pandemic, which obviously is an issue because coronavirus is where it was originated in China, and that rose a lot of health concerns for people during the pandemic. Why it is important that they were doing this is because health obviously matters in every human being, no matter how much money you have or not. Um, this is an ethical issue because Jeff Bezos controls these processes and can shut them down anytime and use that to his advantage, but he didn't. Um, Basically, they imported products from backlisted Chinese companies. The stakeholders affected were the employees who delivered and handled those products, and their health is what could have been affected. So, if you have a son working for Amazon handling Chinese products that were undocumented that could potentially have germs on them or whatever the case may be, that could increase the chance of them getting coronavirus, which is totally out of line and a very selfish move on Jeff Bezos' part. Um, Amazon is shipping millions of products a day, maybe more. And during the pandemic, the way people would have products and receive products because they didn't want to go to the grocery store, they didn't want to go to Best Buy, they didn't want to go to Target because of the pandemic. So they would order stuff on Amazon, but it's essentially the same thing with them not knowing where it's from when it's from a or from some undocumented company in China. Um, it really is a big problem that not only Amazon is doing this, but a lot of people are doing this. The amount of products the Chinese ships to America is absurd. It's by far we import more products than any other country than China, um, which is why I don't understand why Jeff Bezos didn't do anything. Um, but he eventually his response to all this was oh, less hours, better hygiene, mask on, but essentially you have to have a mask on regardless of if you're at work or not, um, unless you're at your home. So that's why I had a big issue with Bezos' response. There's also another issue. There's a few issues within the Amazon community. Um, Warehouse abuses. Amazon's fulfillment center wages are lower than the average wages for warehouse employees elsewhere, which is ridiculous considering how many employees they have. The average warehouse worker, for example, at Walmart makes under $40,000 annually, while at Amazon you take home about under a little under $24,000, which is with more hours and harder wages and more work essentially. Because it's definitely clear that Amazon workers have more packages in the warehouse to deal with than any other company in the world. I mean, it's like a factory in what's going on and how many packages they send out. That's less than $1,000 above the official federal poverty line for a family of four. So think about that. Um, on November 16th, a study by the Institute for Local Self Reliance analyzed more than 1,300 wage postings on Glassdoor and found that positions at Amazon fulfillment centers paid about 9% less than the industry average. That's not okay, and that's another ethical issue that Jeff Bezos has. I mean, if I were to pick a theory, it would be utilitarianism because the definition of that ethical theory is pretty much the doctrine that actions are right if they are useful for the benefit or majority. Bezos was abusing his power because he knew there was no legal ways he was doing it wrong. It was just an ethical way. If it were a legal way, he would have to go to court. He had to do all this stuff, but he did not have to. So he knew it would benefit himself, which is not okay with obviously me having come from. I've had 2 family members get coronavirus. I had coronavirus in September. Um, people are going. People are making almost $15,000 less than Walmart warehouse workers a year when they're handling way more packages and have a environment that is less healthy, essentially. And that way Bezos makes more money, which he doesn't need to. He makes God knows how much money he makes in a day. I read some stat where he made like $180,000 like every 5 minutes or something, which is out of this world. I mean, that $170,000 is more than what 95% of Americans make a year. So, in 2018, Amazon actually did the way they responded to this. They raised wages for warehouse workers, um, but there are still many issues for those who take this job. Um, if you've heard bad about Amazon, it usually do with their warehouses where employees pick products for delivery that they have no intelligence about where it's been. There are multiple accounts of abuses at various Amazon warehouses, both in the UK and America, but details seem to appear again and again. Employees can be found to meet extremely high targets of delivering an extremely high amount of packages. Um, and they were worried that not meeting targets will result in immediately losing their jobs, but they might not even be able to go to work in general if they aren't making enough money and if they are getting ill. So, also there's another issue of exploitation of temporary workers. Jeff's situation was not a unique one. I mean, the guy had a lot of decisions to make that were easy decisions that he didn't make. Amazon warehouses are often staffed by numerous temps hired by companies who Amazon outsourced to, so China. Some of these temps are hired for extra work created around the holidays known as peak season and let go shortly after with minimal notice. Um, I think it's just hard for me to wrap my head around how some major business owners, and I'm talking Jeff Bezos is probably the richest guy in America, him or Elon Musk right now, how they can't make these simple decisions to benefit their employees. I mean, if I were that rich, I would give and give and give. I know it's easier to say now when I don't have that money, but I would. I would absolutely give back. I would, you know, for example, not to get off topic, but Jeff Bezos' wife, when they got divorced, she actually donated $10 million. She's donated so much money, and she actually ended up donating $10 million to a Goodwill from my hometown in Louisville. Bezos hasn't really necessarily been seen to do a lot of stuff like that. And the fact that he's not making sure his warehouse workers are getting paid more is ridiculous because he could pay his workers a fair amount of them. Some of them might have been to college, might have not. But for guys who can't afford college and don't have degrees and have a lot of student loans to pay off or whatever their situation is, he could help that with the amount of money he has and help them with their just everything around them that he determines. But he didn't. My dad actually owns a business called Alliance Cost Containment, and he's not the type of dad. He's not going to let me and my brother work for him. He wants us to do our own thing, which is understandable. I don't really want to. But he always tells me, treat your employees, the same you'd want to treat anyone else. Because the workplace environment, when you're starting your own business, is not going to work if your employees don't like you, if they don't respect you, if they don't enjoy their work. You got to make it, he always tells me, Gilson, you got to make it a family environment. I don't know if I want to start a business, but I do know how important morality is in life in general and obviously in business. I think if Jeff Bezos didn't have that amount of money and that amount of wealth to kind of cover his butt and back himself up, I don't think he would have gotten this far. Amazon blew up in like 2016, 2017. I remember my mom would order packages. It's like my dad calls it Christmas every week for my mom. It's just Amazon after Amazon after Amazon. Those amount of packages weren't delivered that quickly in that amount of time until about 2017, 2018. I mean, you could order products that weren't, after they transformed it outside of books, you could order products, but they wouldn't get here in a day. Now they get here in like a day, maybe sometimes even 12 hours, which is ridiculous to me. I know I might have gotten a little off topic with comparing my dad's business to Jeff Bezos, but, I think no matter how much money you have, like I said, morality is morality, and you have to have it in life, in every aspect of life. Now, do I think Jeff Bezos had good morale at the beginning when he first started his business? Yeah, but I think when people start getting that rich, they get some sort of an ego, which can be an issue that can impact a lot of people's lives. So, again, I think this is very important because Bezos has all the power and all the finances to help so many Americans, and him bringing in undocumented products from China just to make money that could very well have probably gotten a few of his employees coronavirus, which isn't safe. He should have shut down all shipping from China for a long time. He should have paid his workers more during the pandemic. He should have given them easier hours with higher wages. And that's not a government thing. The government is probably going to make the minimum wage 15 an hour, but Bezos has the amount of money to where he can do that in general, but he doesn't. So I think if Jeff Bezos, had better morality and was more friendly and treated everyone equally, no matter how much money he has, I think he would be viewed as a better person and a better business owner. Lastly, I really enjoyed this class. I didn't really consider taking a winter class just because I've had a lot going on. My mom has rheumatoid arthritis, so her immune system's not very good, and that's tough during the pandemic. And my dad has had a tough time because he can't even go to the office. But this has been one of the most interesting classes I have taken. I'm not going to lie, a lot of the classes I take in college aren't that interesting. It's just kind of a major course, but this one has really taught me a lot about life and business ethics, literally and figuratively. So I didn't realize how actually important all this stuff was until I started doing the class. And I appreciate, you. It's probably a tough time for you as well, Professor, and thank you so much for working with us in this hard time and teaching me a lot personally. So I hope you stay healthy. God bless.